Hello, this is Deborah with Redirecting, and I wanted to quickly talk about the young man, the 9-year-old, who was accused of attacking Cornerstore Caroline, the strange woman who wanted to claim that a little 9-year-old attacked her. Now, in the aftermath of all this, we've seen interviews and we've seen a call to action by those wanting her to be arrested. But the interview that I'm speaking of now is with the mother and the child. Now, apparently, the mother says that she wants to forgive this woman and she doesn't want to see any harm coming to this woman.
It's still hard because I have this lately on my mind. Like I can't think nothing more but this. I felt humiliated.
He was pointing to patrol cars on Flatbush Avenue and saying, "Mommy, are they here to take you away from us?" To be having a conversation with your son about sexual assault at the age of 9, I never thought I would be having this conversation with my son at all.
She had to sit down, explain to me while I was going to bed.
I accept her apology. I want unity. I don't want no harm brought to this lady. This is going to take some time. It's going to take a lot of healing.
Now, this is what I have to say about that. Our people are so stuck in a certain mindset that I don't know what it's going to take for them to snap out of it. We are the only people who, within days of having our families attacked or hurt or killed or traumatized or whatever, within days, we've already jumped on the forgiveness train. She says she doesn't want any harm to come to this woman, or she forgives this woman, while sitting next to her son, who was crying and saying this is all he can think about and he's traumatized. And even when the mother said that the conversation about sexual assault is something she thought she would never have. If you live in a country to where a young man can be accused of sexual assault simply by brushing up against someone, you better have that conversation. I teach my children to give people their space. You see someone in a store and you're trying to reach and get something, give them their space. As a matter of fact, don't even go in the same aisle with Becky, because Becky will lie. Now, we know that cameras are seeing things. Cameras record things. But what if the camera isn't clear enough? You see? Or what if the police get there before seeing any evidence and decide that they want to deal with you harshly before even looking at cameras? And so we need to start teaching our young men how to give women their space, how to be very discerning about how these young women or women are behaving. If you have a woman this age accusing a 9-year-old of sexual assault, then you need to have the conversation. And I'm sorry, as a mother, to sit there and say that you forgive this woman, that comes up too often when it comes to Black victims. I wonder if that was a question put to her by the news person who was interviewing her. It probably was. But why do we feel like on national TV we have to humiliate ourselves? Because that's what I believe is happening here. Why do we feel that we have to humiliate ourselves and say, "Oh, yes, I forgive"? They're not going to do that. But something in our minds make us believe that we have to forgive this sort of thing. This is not an issue of forgiveness. This is an issue of protecting your child. Because even from time to time, I will get so-called Black people who come and drop links to me to the scripture that says forgive and love your enemy and all of this stuff without even understanding the context of those scriptures. They think that it's a blanket forgiveness all across the board for all of humanity, regardless to what they do to you or to your family. When you want to bring a Bible verse to prove to me that I have to forgive someone who just hurt my child, do it with understanding, because there is no such scripture. No one ever brings the scripture that says, it is a righteous thing with Yah to recompense those that trouble you. It says, it is a righteous thing. Did you hear what I just said? It is righteous to recompense those that trouble you. Recompense means to pay back. But see, we don't like those kind of scriptures. We don't want to deal with those. We only want to deal with those that say, love your enemies. Here you're sitting next to your child. Your child is crying, traumatized, afraid, looking at police as he's driving by, wondering if they're after him. He's traumatized, but all you can think about is how much love and forgiveness you have for this woman who caused this. Listen, people, it is time for us to get our heads out of the sand and understand what time we are in. I don't think we get it. I don't know if this woman is a Christian or not, but I'm finding that even our people who are not Christians, who weren't raised in the church or weren't Bible thumpers, I'm finding that even with them, there's this automatic default to forgiving those who are doing these things to our people, to our family, to our children. We've seen so many cases. All of us have seen these cases where someone has lost their child. Their child has been shot and killed or mowed down or whatever, violently taken away from them. And you will see the parents on national TV saying, I forgive her. I love her. I just want the best for her. Why is that your concern? Here, this woman, this mother here, she's sitting there saying that I accept her apology. Do you think this woman's apology was genuine? Utterly amazing that this is the default for us. That these people can do this, can bring stress and trauma upon our children. But in our minds, we believe the right thing to do is to go and embrace her. This woman, this mother sounds as if this Cornerstore Caroline was standing right before her in her face. She sounds as if she would go up to this woman and say, I forgive you, and give her the biggest hug. It kind of reminds me of a post a brother put up. It was a meme that had two lions. One was a ferocious lion, and the other was the docile lion from the Wizard of Oz. The cowardly lion from the Wizard of Oz. The meme stated this. It said, this is how we deal with one another. It showed the ferocious lion roaring, teeth showing, growling, and snarling. That's how we deal with each other. All teeth showing, fangs ready to just knock you out, wipe you out. But when we deal with these people, we put on that cowardly lion. Oh, I'm a lion. I forgive you. Give me a hug. Let's be friends. Let's be friends forever. Let's put the past behind us, even though the past is just 10 minutes ago. Even though the past just happened one day ago. Even though my son is still suffering from this trauma. Even though my son is still afraid. Even though my son can't sleep at night. Even though you have humiliated and embarrassed him nationwide and worldwide. Even though he won't be getting over this for a long time. And he's sitting right here next to me crying. I forgive you, though. I still forgive you. And I want to put the past behind me. And I think we should all just be friends and just get along. And as a matter of fact, Cornerstore Caroline, you want to come over for dinner? So we can talk? So that my son can sit right across from you and look at you and realize how much he loves you too? Okay, that's enough of that, family. That is enough of that. This is what I see that this woman has done. Bringing her son on here, humiliating him even more. He's crying. I think the humiliation came in when she decided to say that she forgives this woman who did this to her son, who traumatized him in this way, who damaged him emotionally in this way. She brought on more trauma by saying in front of him, "Oh, son, let it go. Let's forgive her. Let's love her. As a matter of fact, I don't want any harm to come to her." All right, family, these types of things, they really get to me. I understand that there are things you have to pick your battles, but you are in this battle. You're in it. She brought it to you. So since she brought it to you, you have to deal with it appropriately. When it comes to something like this, I think that even if the mother was going to do this interview, in which I really don't see anything wrong with the interview itself, I think it's something wrong with how she dealt with it. Okay? Because she was brought into the middle of this, I believe it was very, very ignorant for her as the mom to sit here and declare how much she forgives this woman. Have the interview. Okay, talk. Give your side of the story. But nowhere in this interview did you need to say that you forgive her. That should have been off the table. Especially when you have a son sitting next to you crying. It is time for us to wake up, people. It's time for us to wake up. All right, family, I'm out.